Ladies and gentlemen, we are back with Latoya's Sports Rant. They are no longer the Washington Redskins. They are no longer the Washington football team. They are now the Washington Commanders. Dope uniforms, even though the people in the uniforms are not playing that well. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let's get started.
Oh yeah, Devin the Dude here. Yo, check this out, man. You tune in to the Mitchell Hour, baby. Yeah, hosted by Julius and Mike. They doing and saying what they like, man. Hey, y'all keep it moving, keep it hype, man. Much love, Devin.
All right. After 4 weeks, the Washington Commanders are 1-3. I support all DC teams, so I'm going to give my little quick synopsis of the season, and then I will pass it on to Latoya and Corey, the original Washington Redskin fans. After 4 weeks, they looked decent when they beat the Jags. Personally, in my opinion, it's been downhill ever since. Even the win versus the Jags, Carson just wasn't playing that good. The offensive line can't do anything. The receivers they can't do anything, not even Terry. Jahan Dotson seems like he's doing more than Terry can. Carson Wentz, I just don't know. With Washington, it seems that they don't want to draft a quarterback and develop him. And I was talking to Latoya about this earlier. One thing that Ron Rivera says is they're young guys. We got to keep on okay, but fans have been hearing this ever since he's been a coach, even before he came. And it's just like rest in peace to Dwayne Haskins, but it seemed like he didn't really give him that much chance. You know what I'm saying? It's like little room for error with him. But Carson Wentz is a veteran, and it seems like he's giving him chance after chance after chance. It just doesn't make any sense to me. Latoya, what do you think?
I don't really know. And then plus, with this being our rival, it's just terrible. And even going into playing the Eagles, I wasn't really expecting much. Dallas Cowboys, same thing. I'm like, if they go in there playing the Dallas Cowboys how they played the Eagles, like there's no way that we're going to win that game. And as you see, we didn't. And just a lot of questionable calls, plays, like that 4th and 15 play. It's just me. I couldn't wrap my head around that. Like I'm like, 4th and 15. Why are you going for it? Just kick the field goal. It's just something about the end zone. It's like I don't know. It must be because I just don't understand. And Scott Turner. Every time I see him on the screen, just irritates me. So it's just I want my team to win, but it's just like it's the same repeated stuff year after year, especially the quarterback whole situation. It just agitates the heck out of me, but I don't know. I guess we'll see what happens.
Corey?
Well, I like the fact that, you brought up developing a quarterback because, like I said, they don't want to invest in any new talent as far as that position is concerned. I don't get it. I just don't get it. I'm tired of watching them play like this.
I'm going to say this, right? So it seems like the product on the field is not that great, right? But then if you look at all the owners for the teams, right? You got, well, the learners are no longer the owners of the Nationals. But you look at the Washington Nationals, right? You got Bryce Harper, Anthony Rendon, Trey Turner, Max Scherzer, Juan Soto, right? Mm-hmm. Everybody that I named is no longer on the team, right?
Yeah.
So they make dumb decisions, right?
Right.
Then you got the owner of the Capitals. It seemed like he was just, when he let Trotz go, I didn't really agree with that. You know what I'm saying? Jacob Vrana, we let him go. And I just really didn't understand that. I can a little bit because he was young, disrespectful to the head coach and everything. You know, the Washington Mystics, the Washington Wizards. Yes, the Mystics won the women's finals a couple of years ago. The Washington Nationals won some years ago, I think in 2019. The Capitals won not too long ago. So the Wizards and the Washington Commanders haven't won anything in years. I think part of the problem with some of those teams is the ownership. What do y'all feel about that?
Well, if it comes down to money, you know, I mean, I think a lot of teams in this area, they try to get players on the cheap is what it is. I just think that that's what it is. So, you know, I just think that if you're not going to spend the money, then, you know, don't complain. If you're not going to develop your players and you're not going to spend the money and all of that, just don't complain. I mean, if it's all about filling the stands and ticket sales, I mean, then, you know, these teams, they more or less, they're doing fine. But if winning is not a priority, then, you know, as long as these you know, the owners are making money, I mean, you know, really, I mean, what if they have a losing season and the owner still walks away with billions of dollars? Is it really going to matter?
Right. I mean, but let me ask y'all a question. If Snyder sells the team, what do y'all think would be the outcome? Because, you know, what was the general manager's name that y'all let go a little while ago? Bruce Allen, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so a lot of people were saying as soon as Bruce Allen goes, we'll be okay. Bruce Allen goes, we'll be okay. Mm-hmm. I mean, they had they were celebrating like a motherfreaker on Twitter, on Instagram, Facebook, and everything.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, okay, he made some really bad decisions. But I think he was used as a scapegoat for the fans and for Snyder. So Snyder got rid of him, you know, hired, you know, somebody young and, you know, hip, whatever. But still, it just didn't work. So now everybody's saying, okay, let's get rid of Snyder, sell the team. With all these sexual assault allegations and everything like that, I think he's going to have to eventually sell. With all the things that's been going on with the emails and the cheerleaders and paying people off. But honestly, I'm going to say this. I feel if the the Commanders got Lamar Jackson, right? I really feel, and I don't want my wife to be mad at me when I say this, but I feel it doesn't matter who y'all get. Y'all can get Tom Brady on this team, I just don't know. The owner can sell the team. It is just something about this team that they don't want to win, and I think like there's no veteran presence. You know what I'm saying? It's like back when y'all was winning, it was a complete team. You know what I'm saying? It was under different ownership. It was just really, it was all about team. And I think there's no veterans on this team. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I think. And do I think that Snyder could be a problem? Yes, because like you brought up, Corey, with the ticket sales. Every year, a lot of people saying, I'm not going to be a season ticket holder. I'm not going to go to the game. And blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Snyder doesn't care about that. You know why? Because even when the Redskins are playing at home, it's like an away game with all the other fans that's coming in. So he's looking at the situation like, you know what?
Right.
I'm going to sell out tickets this horrible stadium. We're going to sell 3 burnt chicken tenders and a beer for $45. You know what I'm saying? And that's really all that matters. And look, I think they're being sued right now. Aren't they being sued? Because didn't like some sewage come down off of the thing?
Oh yeah, that's when the pipe.
It's a lawsuit against them right now. I just don't know what it is, and I'm gonna say this. Like I said, I support all DC teams. Mm-hmm. It's very hard for these last several years to support the Washington Commanders, and after what the Nationals did, it's kind of hard to support them. But you have those loyal fans that are going to purchase tickets regardless. And I think maybe if another owner comes in and cares more about the stadium and the fans other than $1, maybe that will make a difference.
Well, I mean, it is a business. It is a business. But if you got, well, like I said, if you looking for things to be on the cheap, I mean, then, why would I play that dude who I know who's been to the playoffs 5 times? I can't afford him. I'm going to get this dude that ain't been to the playoffs but once and has been on the lose and has had, out of 5 seasons, has had 4 of them have been losing. Yeah, I'm going to get that dude. Right. Why am I going to pay a premium player when I know, I'm just not going to do that. Look at what they did with Fletcher Cox.
Right.
When it's time for him to renew his contract, they were like, "Oh no, he's going to cost us too much money."
But yeah, I understand that. But it's like, all right, if you look at developing the quarterback, right? You look at Justin Herbert on the Chargers, right? You look at Joey Burrow with the Bengals. You know what I'm saying? Look at Patrick Mahomes with the Chiefs.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's just like I don't understand why they just get these. I wouldn't say Carson Wentz is washed up. I would say it's his prime is over. Yeah. And it's like they don't want like Donovan McNabb. You know what I'm saying? When they brought him in, that Jason Campbell. You know what I'm saying? Rex Grossman. It just gets to a point where you're just looking at it and you're just like, fans are like, I'm watching this team because there's nothing else to do on a Sunday. I'm going to sit here and I'm going to watch this. Look, and I'm not trying to be funny. I really do support the Washington Commanders. I do. But it just gets to a point where what is going to change? The uniforms are dope, right?
Right.
I was on Twitter. JP Finley said, yo, these Washington Commander black uniforms are dope. And I commented on this tweet. I said, well, what about the people that's in those uniforms? You know what I'm saying? It's like it just gets to a point where everything is just messed up. They didn't even do the name rollout right. They can't even trust people. What the guy, I forgot his name, the young black man that's the GM.
Oh,
he was sitting there and somebody in the room took a picture and leaked it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I remember
when they
that.
put the name up there on the walls at the facility.
Right.
Airplane. Like, what are they doing? But look, this is my thing, right? You have to like work it out from the inside. If the players are doing semi what they need to do, but I think it starts from the inside out. You know what I'm saying? It's just like they can't do anything right.
Right.
And I'm just saying the choices for the mascots are horrible. I don't know if y'all saw it. It was a tweet last week.
I haven't seen it.
It's really bad. The little corny, goofy names.
Really?
You haven't seen it?
No.
Yeah.
No.
I'll probably use that as the cover art for this episode. But I just don't understand. I love this team. I really do. It's not my first team, but I live in this area. I don't know what else they can do. But eventually, they're going to have to tell Wentz that he needs to sit down. I know it's only 4 weeks into the season, but after these 4 weeks, have you saw anything from him that makes you think that he should be the long-term starter?
No.
Nah, of course not. Nah, when they got him, I was just like saying to myself, okay. I was just like, okay. There was nobody else out there. There was nobody. So yeah, I mean,
the Redskins or the Commanders don't want to win. Pierre Garçon, Deshaun Jackson, the same year. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like,
right.
I don't know what they were doing. I just like, I don't know. I don't know.
I don't either. I don't know. They could have kept Taylor Heineke right where he was, and I don't know, like maybe drafts another quarterback. I mean, I don't know, but it's like we're always looking at the quarterback every year. You know, and we're lacking in different areas, like our offensive line. And I'm looking at them, I'm just like, who do I blame, the quarterback or y'all? Because he can't seem to get the ball out on time because he's either getting sacked, he's throwing the ball all crazy. And then
one thing, he is holding on to the ball a little bit too long.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. That is true because even when he gets the ball, if the pocket starts collapsing immediately after 2 steps, don't stand there. And he's not going to run.
But but hold on. I think it was the last. He was still on the Eagles, and it seemed like the whole Washington Redskins, that was their name at the time, they were like on top of him, and somehow he ducked and ran. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's just like, so you just went from not being a certified runner, but you could, to just not running at all.
I think that attributed to his injury. So yeah, once he had that injury, he's not gonna move like he used to.
But he's not even trying. That's the way it seems to me.
No, he's not. I mean, if he's not gonna move, then you deserve to get sacked. Or get rid of the ball. I mean, come on.
Okay, so next week it is the Titans. The Titans' run game, personally, in my opinion, is better than all the teams that y'all have played so far. So that game can get out of hand very quickly. I think Henry, he had in the first quarter of this week, I think over 100 yards.
Yeah.
Now, y'all's run defense for the Redskins or the Commanders are pretty decent.
Yeah, they
Jonathan Allen, Deron Payne, like they've been doing their thing. William Jackson, not so much. A lot of people are saying that, playing in Texas, playing against the Cowboys in their stadium, the refs are very unfair. I've always lived by the philosophy in football, like you can't blame the refs for everything. And I think the reason that it's not being called out as much as it should be is like the most penalized team coming into this game and last year, they got what 4 to 5 penalties for not even 100 yards. I don't think it was even 50 yards.
Right.
But you just look at the situation and you're like, okay, you can be mad at the refs, but the Commanders always shoot themselves in the foot where what they do overshadows what the refs do.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't think there's going to be a change. I want it to be a change. And like I was telling my son earlier today, the Eagles are 4-0. The Giants are 3-1. Let's not talk about the Cowboys, but I just feel like anything can change on any given Sunday. Anybody can. These professional athletes that are the best in the world can go out there and show up.
Right.
And I'm not saying it from a lack of trying. I don't know if it needs to be a new defensive coordinator. I don't know. Maybe like a new coach. I wouldn't say a new. I don't know about a new coach. Ron Rivera just sometimes looked lost, and we could easily say the whole cancer thing with the chemo and his brain wasn't right and he was exhausted. But what's his excuse now for mismanaging the clock? Like the whole 4th and 15. My wife doesn't agree with it, but at that point in time in the game, they had to go for it. You know what I'm saying? Kicking out field goal wouldn't have done anything with that little bit of time.
Yeah, they needed
a touchdown.
Yeah, they needed a score.
So I just look at the situation as they could get a new owner, a new coach, new defensive coordinator, and bring in Shit, they can bring in Bill Belichick, Pete Carroll. You know what I'm saying? Andy Reid.
Ain't none of them cats coming to Washington.
And they can bring in Lamar Jackson, Deshaun Watson. And I got cussed out on Twitter, right? I think this was a couple years ago when I said, why don't they just give Colin Kaepernick a chance, right? And somebody said, we don't need that unwarranted, unnecessary publicity. And I'm just like, with all the publicity that y'all are getting already for the last several years, I'm like, your owner, he's being accused of sexual assault. You know what I'm saying? In some type of like scandal, is always something. You know what I'm saying? At least Colin Kaepernick would bring like better publicity than what y'all been getting, right?
Well, that just depends on, the optics of it all. If you think about it, even though they're losing, the whole thing with Colin Kaepernick is a reminder, especially in Washington now, because of the history of the Washington team.
Right.
Yes. Because of that, they're going to be like, he's going to be a distraction. Well, actually,
your owner is the distraction.
They need somebody to be looking at something else, because I'm gonna tell you right now, that's something they're not gonna do. They're not gonna bring Colin Kaepernick in.
Well, I know they wasn't, but I'm just like, at that point in time, I mean, for the last several years, I mean, even when they made the playoffs with Heineke, you know what I'm saying, and people say, "Oh, it doesn't matter, it's a loss." When the Buccaneers went on to win the Super Bowl that year, the team that gave them the hardest game was the Washington football team at that time.
True.
And I would say to people like, oh, they still lost. I'm just like, they could have won with a guy that was like sitting on his couch and, going to a community college not too long ago.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, it gets a little irritating with Washington Redskins fans, because they do these signings, and I'm not going to watch it ever again. But then the same people say they're not going to watch it again are the same ones that's on Twitter cussing out the coaches and stuff like that. Now, one thing I will say is my wife, who's been kind of quiet, has been ride or die since being a baby. And she never gives up on her team, ever. And that's a good thing. But I know it can be a little frustrating. I know your blood pressure is like probably 180 over 98.
I'm good.
But
I'm fine, because I knew after once I found out we were playing the Eagles, I wasn't going in expecting nothing. Once we were going into playing Cowboys, I'm like, if we go in playing like that against the Cowboys, knowing that this is the biggest rivalry in this division, then you might as well just forget it. And I don't even know what the rest of my the schedule's looking like, because it just gets to a point where it's not that I've given up on them, but it's just like, what if this is the same repeated stuff every single year? It's like, goodness.
What are your steps for success that you think could help the team out?
I don't know. I really couldn't tell you. Because it's like, if we bring in a new owner, is that going to solve anything? If we just, get a new offensive line, is that going to solve anything? If we bring in a new whole coaching staff, is that going to? I haven't seen anything, so I don't even know what we could do to really have a successful team. I really think that this franchise just doesn't care about winning. Last time we won a Super Bowl was in the early 90s. Okay, so that says a lot. That says a lot. And it's frustrating when you have fans in the comments like, they want to win, they want all of this, but you're getting mad at the coach and all of this. I'm like, and to a point, they don't help either. I'm like, because y'all are sometimey. Because y'all are on when we're winning, and then y'all are off. We don't even hear you, when we're losing and everything. So
for these last 3 losses, who's to blame?
I really don't know. Everybody.
Okay, what played a bigger part? The quarterback or the play calling by Turner, or the coaching from Del Rio or Rivera? Or is it a mixture of all?
Extra. I think.
Well, when it comes to losing, you in order to win, you have to execute. Now, if you can't get the ball to your wide receivers, whether you overthrowing it or underthrowing it, that's a problem.
Quarterback problem.
Yeah, that's a quarterback problem. Now, if you have wide receivers that the ball gets to and you don't catch it, that's a receiver problem. If it's in your hands and you don't catch it, and there's nobody on you, you just don't catch it because
So you
you're
don't
running
think
around.
the scheme has anything to do with it?
You know what? I just think that, like I've been saying it for years, you got to now. If you got, here's an analogy: you got a Ferrari that's for sale on the lot now, but you want to go, but you know, and it's expensive. You got the money in the bank, right? You got the money. You can afford that Ferrari, but you and you know the Ferrari's brand new and everything like that, but you gonna go for this 76 Pinto because that's cheaper. That's
Right.
gonna keep, you know what I mean?
I feel you.
You know,
I feel you.
and that's a lot of what they're doing. You know, it's like, you know, why am I gonna get this rookie a guaranteed contract and develop him over 3 to 4 years when I can get that dude that's been in the league for 9 years, been hurt for 3 seasons, but I still got to pay him $10-12 million a season.
Right.
For what?
That's just like when they bought in Landon Collins and paid him all that money. You know what I'm saying? I just look at it like they bought in Josh Norman.
Oh, now you
And
know
they
I was
paid him
mad about
all
that.
money. I'm just like, okay. He was good, but it just seems like we get throwaways, kind of, right?
Yes,
And I say
yes,
we as a
yes.
supporter of the team. It's
Yes.
just like throwaways. And it
Yes.
just gets to a point where it's like these big press conferences. And that's one thing that the Commanders are going to do. They're going to throw a big press conference. It was like, oh, Landon Collins, he has a lot of respect for Sean Taylor. And they're trying to bring the fan because the majority of Redskin fans or Commander fans love Sean Taylor. Now, you have some that talk bad about him, saying that he was a thug and not good at football, which I don't see how anybody can say that.
Yeah, that's just
Yes, he had some problems or whatever, but, you know, he took it out on the field. He was a
Yes.
great player.
Yes.
And I think that have been a thing. They know how to get this really old, crusty looking thing and shine it up and make it look good. Back to your Pinto analogy. And it's just like, you know, Landon Collins, he had problems when he was on the Giants. You know what I'm saying? He just certain schemes didn't work for him.
right.
They bought him here, paid him all that money, and most of the time he got hurt. And I'm not talking about like injured hurt. I'm just talking about he get hurt like he looked horrible on the fucking field. I don't know. I feel like personally, it just seems like Ron Rivera is trying to turn the team into the Panthers.
Oh, don't say that.
No, I mean that's what I feel. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, and the thing about it is like, didn't Washington go to Carolina, beat Carolina, and wasn't the Washington Redskins the reason that Ron Rivera got fired? I could have sworn he got fired because the Redskins went in there and beat them. You don't remember that?
Somewhat.
Yes, I do. Well, now when you say turning Washington into the Panthers, are you talking?
It seemed like he done bought receivers, he done bought different players, he done bought his offensive coordinator and other people in other positions over because he had that much power. And I'm just like, the Panthers were not a bad team, but they weren't that great for you to try to bring everybody from there over here.
But is he trying to turn them into like the Cam Newton era Panthers, or is he just I don't know, because
I think it's more about guys that he trusts / control more than anything. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm pretty sure he had now Curtis Samuel. I think that was a good signing.
right, true.
But everybody else that he's bought in and stuff like that, it just doesn't seem like it was that good of a choice. I don't see anything that Ron Rivera did that is spectacular. Yes, they took a ping pong table out of the locker room or something like that, but it's like, okay, but has there been any improvement since Ron Rivera have came in? Toya?
No.
Corey?
No. No.
So y'all want to ride him out to the end of the season, to the end of his contract? What?
Well, I mean, he's got a contract. I mean, yeah, unless even if they fired him, they still got to pay. Like if they fired him in the middle of the season, he's still gonna get paid.
Well, yeah.
So I would rather see him get paid while he's working. Right. you know, whether they win or lose. I mean, at least he's there on the side. I would hate to see them fire him and midway through the season and bring an interim coach in, and that dude's sitting at home on the sofa still collecting the check.
Well, I mean, they've done that before, and I don't really think that money is. I don't really think he cares about the money.
Well, I know Snyder doesn't.
That's what I'm saying.
I know he does. Yeah, I know he doesn't.
Like he's just throwing money at washed up players, or maybe not washed up, but just past their prime players, and maybe overpaying some of the players that they've bought in from other places.
Yeah,
I mean, anything could happen. They can turn their season around. I just don't know if the coaching can do it. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know, is Ron on the same page with his defensive coordinator, his offensive coordinator, and the players? To me, it seems like there's some type of animosity. I know there has to be some type of animosity between him and Del Rio, because he fined him like $100,000 and all that stuff because of his tweets and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I think that's become a distraction. It just seems like more of the off-field things that's going on with the organization gets like overshadows the play on the field, and I think that becomes a distraction for the players. Even though the players are not playing up to their potential, I feel like all the in-house fighting and all the stuff that's been going on, but while some of these players were in college, it's just like it never is never going to cease. But hopefully they can turn their season around. A lot of the predictions I saw was they had the Commanders winning 2 or 3 games for the whole entire season.
Wait, this season?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't like that prediction. I don't like that at all.
But the way it's looking right now, it doesn't look like it's too far-fetched.
Well, what they need to do is they need to stop waking up in the second half and be awake in the first half.
Right.
You know, I mean, that would help. You know, don't wake up after halftime when you down by 3 touchdowns.
Yeah,
it's kind of a moot point then.
And I just want to know what's going on with Scary Terry. It's just like I don't know what's going on. Like, yes, he hasn't gotten the ball that much. You know what I'm saying? No. And that's one thing that has to change.
Yeah,
your number one receiver, you have to get him the ball. But then Carson Wentz is looking at it like, okay, well, you got to give me time to throw the ball. But then when he does have time, he still holds on to it. Or like the last interception that he threw, he stared down at the receiver the whole entire time. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just like, I don't really know what's going on. But hopefully they were like a fire under their butts and get them on track, because I don't like the Cowboys at all. Got to support the Giants, you know what I'm saying, my brother and my son. And the Eagles, my podcast partner, that's his team. Even though it's in the same division, I mean, they're looking good, but hopefully they don't carry on what they're doing for the rest of the season. Because Jalen Hurts, like, I like Jalen Hurts a lot, and a lot of the Eagles fans wasn't sold on him. Now it seems like everybody's kind of riding his drop now.
Oh, yeah.
You know, because a lot of people that, you know, I follow like almost every page for every team in the NFC East. And a lot of people saying like, we don't know if Jalen Hurts is that guy, but now since they're 4-0, everybody seems like, yeah, he's the truth. He's the truth. I'm just like, man, might have the time of change in the last year or two. It's a little crazy to me.
Yeah.
But Fuck everybody else. I just want the Commanders to be in first place and play a lot better, at least make a run. And I don't think that Wentz is going to continue to play like this for the rest of the season. I know they got some injuries, and I think the defense hasn't been that bad, especially the front. But, you still got Chase Young that could come back, and Ron Rivera said he's being reevaluated. So hopefully he'll be able to play. He'll make a defense, the defense a little bit better than what they're playing. Hopefully Scary Terry gets back in what he does. Jahan Dotson is pretty good. I heard something about Gruden. John Gruden said that they should put Kendall Fuller in the slot. He was on an interview. That's what he said. And a lot of people are saying that Ron Rivera doesn't play his players the way he should play them. So hopefully everything will get worked out. I wish the Commanders nothing but the best. Hopefully they get it together. But next week doesn't get any easier for them. So my prediction for next week, my heart wants to give the Commanders the win, but I'm thinking that the Titans are going to win, and I think it's going to probably be the same score, close to the same score. I'm going, I would say 29-13, Titans. Toya?
Yeah, my heart's with my team. I want them to win too, but I don't know. Honestly, I don't even have a score for you.
Just throw one out there. Whatever numbers pop in your head, just throw it out.
I'm gonna say like 24-14 or
Titans or Commanders. 24-14 Titans.
Don't make me choose, please.
Corey, what you feel?
With the way they've been playing, I mean, I'm a fan and everything, but I'm gonna throw a crazy number out there. 31-18 Titans.
Yeah, that seems like that could be it.
Because they're not. I'm sorry, they just not doing it for me.
But let's think about it. Like, I don't know. Okay, they played the Jags. Their running game is not as strong as the Titans. And the Commanders pulled it off. The second game, who y'all play? The Eagles.
The Eagles, yeah.
The Eagles, I'm not sure how their running game is. I mean,
it's not that great, but like I said, Washington's their run defense is decent.
Yeah,
it's decent. So
you think they're gonna be able to stop Henry?
They got to be on him. Right. They got to be on him. If he does like a pitch or anything or end around, if they not on him when he get the ball, then it's a wrap, man. If he get past the line of scrimmage and he's getting his speed up, if they don't get him quick, that's
the thing with him. I don't really think he's that fast. I just think that he runs with power, and that's one thing that the Commanders do. They miss a lot of open field tackles.
Yes.
So
yes.
All right. I guess we can say it's 3 for 3 that the Commanders are going to lose. My wife didn't want to come out and say it, but I think what she said says a lot. She wants to go with her heart, but. So, 24-14 Titans. Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're out, and hopefully it will be a victory the next time we talk, but who knows? And once again, we are back with the Latoya Sports Rants on the Mitchell Hour. Everybody be safe.
Thank you for tuning in. Hit that like button, comment, and subscribe. And until then,